Hey, what's up everybody? It's Kellen here from Starter Systems, and welcome to another edition of Track Walk in MX Simulator, where today I am going to be playing JGMX Castle Rock Compound, another awesome track release by the one and only JGMTbike on the MX Simulator forums, and he has a slurry of JGMX slash JGSX track relea's that quite honestly I don't cover enough of, so I figured I'd settle in and give this one a whirl. I played most of his tracks. I will say that some of them I do miss, but most of his tracks I've actually played, and I don't know, for whatever reason I don't review him or talk about him. I guess I assume I'm trying to get more people recognized since he's already a pretty recognizable face in the community. But really I should review more of his tracks because they're good, and this is a really good track. Environment-wise, killer as always. He does a good job with environments, but it's supposed to be a rough-ish replica of the 2016 Foxborough Supercross in, just outside of Boston. So you can see kind of the same track layout, but some sections were changed, as he mentioned, just to kind of make things flow a little bit better to what he was going for with this track. So there's that aspect of it, but then on the outside of the track perimeter, there's also like a little single track, which is it's basically like a national track, but it's real short and it's just kind of tucked in behind the fence, and I'll show that off in a bit as well. But I'm going to try to bang out a couple like super awesome laps on this track first before I do that. And there's also a little sort of kind of their free ride compound that's got got 6 or 7 jumps on it, and it's kind of fun. Got some good kickers, good whip jumps, nice jumps to do backflips or double backflips on, front flips, 360s, etc., which I will try to accomplish in this video, but no promises, because freestyle is definitely not my forte when it comes to this game. I can race well, I can ride enduros pretty well. Freestyle, sometimes I'm really good at it, sometimes I'm hit or miss. But as for the Supercross track, like I said, a little bit of a replica of the East Rutherford Supercross track. I need to try to take some different lines because I've taken the same line 3 times in a row. So yeah, JGMT, great track maker. He does some awesome stuff as always. But if anything that I could say is a little meh about his tracks, at least coming from a professional-ish rider's perspective in this game, is that the sections are a little bit like easy to do some big unrealistic lines, which is sort of a problem why he's, I think, never made a Race Factory Supercross before. I know he's done some tests with the crew, and it's just that his lines, he has really solid transitions, really good jump building knowledge. His tracks all have amazing flow, but it is pretty easy to hit some abnormally large lines on some of these sections, and I'll try to show off what I mean. That's like the only thing he does wrong, I would say, that doesn't like complete the full scope of what you need to accomplish with a realistic sim track in this game. And not saying that his lines are stupid unrealistic, like you can't necessarily say jumping something, a 5 in a section or going triple quad is unrealistic. I'm just saying that for like pro racing perspectives, it's just a little too fast sometimes, and gives the pro racers the option to do some unreasonable things. So that's like the one thing I could point out that's a little bit about his tracks, especially for me, because like I like a challenging steep rhythm section, and some of these are like that. But it's great for beginners because this track has like ruts and things like that, and it's pretty easy to learn on because of the fact that there is so many ways to carry speed. It's got great flow. By far, I don't know if I've played a Supercross track from him that has bad transitions to the jumps, like coming down into the pockets. The top of the jumps are all pretty forgiving. This is probably one of the more unforgiving tracks I've seen him make when it comes to the tops of the jumps, because they're a little bit more pointed on this track. But most of the time he's got pretty rounded jumps. Like I said, the pockets are awesome. So well-rounded. He's a fantastic track builder. I just want to see a track from him one day where there isn't like one god line on the track, which is hard to do, and Race Factory Supercross guys have struggled with that for years, but at some point he has to, or not him, but they had to come to an agreement of what should and shouldn't be done in this game when it comes to Supercross races, because let's face it, most of the people that play this game want to play the custom, or not the custom, the actual replica tracks at some point. And if you're playing a replica track but doing rhythm sections that are ridiculously larger than what guys in real life are doing, at first it's cool because you're like, wow, like what if they could have done that in real life? But then after that, it's like not that awesome, because then you kind of wish that you could ride the track. I mean, you can still ride the track like they did, but that you could like charge the track like they did and see how close or similar the lap times would be or what have you. So I think the closest you can get to a full real replica with similar rhythm lanes and stuff like that is the better for this game. And I'm not saying JGMT can't do it, and I'm not saying that he hasn't done it with some tracks, because like I said, I haven't played every single one of his tracks. But like, look at this, you can 4 in, I could probably 6 that and then easy triple out, so 4, 5, 3 through one rhythm section. Like, again, 450s make this game ridiculous to tone things down with, but at some point that needs to not be the case for rhythm sections, I guess. But enough bad talking about him. I love everything else about what he does. That sand section has tremendously good flow. Every track I've played from him, it flows so amazingly good. I've never been able to make half of my tracks feel as good with flow as he does. So I wish I had some of that talent. But no, I mean, he seemed to learn it pretty quick. He started releasing tracks and just like started putting one out after the other. And then they started becoming fantastic tracks, and now every track he releases is just like really good. Like every track has its unique aspects to it. It always has great flow. The visuals are pretty much always on point. I think I've maybe only seen 1 or 2 of his tracks that were not like didn't catch my eye as amazingly beautiful. Like they still were perfectly set up when it came to aesthetics, but I don't know, I was missing more. Like, so now I'm gonna break away from this Supercross track and show you what I mean by this single track on the outside. It's like right inside the roadside. It's kind of tough on a 450 because some of the jumps are pretty small. Like I have to slow down quite a lot to do some of these doubles. But like this is just like such a cool little aspect to add to the track. Like he didn't have to extend the terrain very much to do it. He just kind of included it right on the perimeter. And he already had some things out here, like this barn thing with some of the trucks. He's got the telephone wires going through the track out here. The fence extends almost out to here anyway from the national track. So it's not like he wasn't going to do something like this or have the room out here anyway, but the fact that he took the time to draw in some little single track stuff on the outer perimeter of the track is just like a neat detail to his tracks that you don't get with most track builders. And I talked about it in my last track walk with shoot, I don't remember the name of it now, but in my last track walk I found like a little quote-unquote Easter egg on the side of the track and talked about it. And like I said, it's kind of rare for track builders to do that, and it's cool when you find it, because then it's like, wow, I didn't even notice that this was here, or maybe I noticed it was here but I never thought it would be this cool or this different. So I like this stuff. It's a little added value bonus to downloading a track instead of just getting the track. But personally speaking, I know how much work goes into these tracks, and to like, I would assume he did this after building the Supercross track, and usually I get to the point where once I built one track, like that's it. The only real reason that I was able to finish a compound was because I didn't release it for a while, because it was like my own little like private compound thing that I played with some friends and stuff like that. And I was always gonna release it, but I just kind of was like, meh, let's just have fun on it, do little things that we can to add to the awesomeness of the compound. And then finally I released it, so, and And then like the only updates that I've made is like added some Supercross tracks and flipped the national track around since then. But I don't have the patience to do stuff like that usually. So the fact that he finished the Supercross track, put a fence around and all that stuff, and then was like, I'm gonna build more track on this already existing track that is awesome on the insides. So that's really cool of him to just branch out, do something like that. And then I don't know. Again, I don't know what order he built these things in, but I assume that this is probably like the second thing that he built, and this is freestyle compound. And it's got some backflip jumps on it, some whip jumps. Like I said, it's got 6 or 7 different jumps that are on it. The whip jumps are pretty fun. You can get pretty whipped out. You can go long on the jumps too, but it's pretty well built. It's got, again, just like all of his tracks, a decent flow to it. If you land here, you have 2 options. I swing left and go over here, then I can either swing out here and cut back to the backflip jump, or I could double over that gap and hit a hip transfer. So, I mean, like, there's so many different things that this little compound has to offer. Like, you could almost release this little freestyle part of the compound separately from everything else, and people would still think it's pretty cool. Like, that's exactly what used to get people excited about the game back in the day, was when people released little tidbits like this that not many people were doing. But yeah, JGMTbike just includes it right in the middle of one of his Supercross tracks, no biggie. So I guess that's where like the whole compound theory comes from, obviously, is that it's not just a Supercross track. But I'm just trying to get my point across that I think it's cool that he adds all these extras like hip jumps and stuff like that right here. The backflip jumps. You go out here, you can do little doubles and stuff like that. I'm gonna bust a fronty, get it all the way around clean. Let's see how close I can get to a double backflip on one of these jumps here. Single backflip here. I think the double backflip jump is gonna be the tall, steep one. I'm actually gonna do a hip transfer first, just because I missed it the first time. Maybe do a little jump over here. It looks like there's actually an off-track jump that I missed in playing this earlier. So I'm gonna actually go back and do that, then turn around, do a jump, then try to do a double backflip. Maybe I'll try it twice and then give up. So if you squeak through the fence over here by the looks of it, jump onto this guy, come out to this berm, blow the berm, go under the water tower, then miss the cactus and come flying on. It's another big jump from off track that I OJ'd, but I got whipped out on, so something. I really do need to review or talk about more of JGMTbike's tracks, because there are a lot of them, and they are all very good, as mentioned. So he deserves, I feel like at least he deserves the credit for building some awesome tracks like this. Alright, double backflip attempt number 1. Not even close. Double backflips are very challenging because you have to get the almost perfect pop on really any jump that you try it on. And no guarantee that you're gonna get it when you do, because you could be too high or too long or whatever. Definitely need speed, and I keep missing the pop. That one, my finger slipped off the controller, which is kind of rare. Here's how you do the double backflip really easy, actually. I'm gonna make this real simple for you folks. So you're just sitting here, you pop into your menu, you go to your bike setup, you go to your suspension and gearing, and you go to this little thing at the bottom. Just go 100, 0, 100, 0. This is also fantastic when it comes to seat bouncing, and suddenly I'm like really free flowing and have amazing seat bounce skills. This is a similar setup to what Alexis Leclerc ran for a while, but then popping things is way easier, and the body likes to kind of contort after you do it, so it continues the popping. You can see like the knees are bouncing. So let's try again. Nope, just a single backflip. But look at how much the body is bouncing around. It's almost impossible to land just about anything with this setup because of how much the body likes to bounce around. In fact, I wanna go through a set of whoops with this setup on, so you can see how just plain stupid this looks. I mean, like, you can already see the legs bouncing up and down a bunch. I never knew how Leclerc was able to ride with some of the setups that he did, but, you know, good on him. So, like, going through the whoops, and it's just like, what in the hell is that? That looks like, I don't know, like one of those Bozo the Clown things or something like that, but you can, like, mega hump the bike It's really quite enjoyable, but simultaneously freakishly hard to play with because your stability gets all kinds of messed up from this. And it's, like I said, it's impossible to land because your legs, the only gyro point that you can use in this game is your legs and your back and stuff. They have no damping. It's just straight to nothing when it's either all or nothing with this setup. So it's pretty hard to land most anything, even landing on the nose. So I'm gonna try one more time just to amuse myself, I guess, to do a double backflip, or try to get at least the pop to do it, because I haven't even gotten close yet. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. I don't know how I'm failing so bad. I don't also know how I landed that. Let's end this video one more time with just a super sexy skim of the whoops with this setup so you guys can see how awesome this is. And I might even slow it down half speed so you guys get to see it. Look at this. Nope. Oh yeah, loving it. One more, opposite direction in this whoop section. Yeah, here we go. That's another edition of Track Walk in the books. Hope you guys liked it. If you did, like, comment, and subscribe. And also download this awesome track by JGMTbike in the description below. Thanks for watching. Kellen, peace and out for now. See you guys in the next videos. So long for now.